Now, don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean sit around and hope that God or the universe or the force shows up with a care package. You have to move. You have to decide, and you have to risk. Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My expertise, scaling medical businesses to 7, 8, and 9 figures. But this podcast, it's not about what I think you should do. It's about what I actually did to build, lead, and live with purpose. If you're in the arena, building something, leading something, betting on yourself, then this podcast is for you. Let's get into it. So here's what I've been thinking about lately. How the hell did I get here? I mean, I'm on pace to personally make over 8 figures this year. That's not my business revenue. That's my personal income. My business revenue is more like $250 million a year. Genesis Lifestyle Medicine is in a state of reinvention, but it's doing well. We've scaled multiple clinics, built pharmacies, launched supplement lines. I've got equity in companies that are now worth over $250 million. And when I zoom out and actually think about it, there's this sense that all the chaos somehow has added up. It wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but it was connected. Let me walk you through it from the beginning. I started in medicine. That was my first identity. Doctor, healer, technician, scientist. But underneath that white coat, I had a builder's heart. I didn't want to be the system. I wanted to own the system. Then I tried to launch a medical apparel company. Total failure, no profit, barely got off the ground, but I learned how to import, how to negotiate with Chinese manufacturers, how to navigate the FDA, lessons that would later come back over and over again. Then I met Brent. We scribbled out a business plan for a telehealth platform. That never happened. Instead, we got introduced to a realtor. That realtor introduced us to a clinic space. And just like that, Genesis was born. And get this, all of that came from a party at my friend Justin Blum's house, where I also met Mike Aquino. Fast forward 2 years and I invest for equity in one of Mike's companies. And today that stake is worth millions. And the first domino, me failing at selling scrubs online. So when I say everything is connected, I'm not being poetic. I'm simply being honest. The business wins, the embarrassing failures, the right people showing up at the right time. None of it makes sense while it's happening. But when you look back, you realize you were being guided. Now, don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean sit around and hope that God or the universe or the force shows up with a care package. You have to move. You have to decide, and you have to risk. Motion is what activates momentum. Decisions are what activate destiny. And here's the thing, you can't do that alone. My wife, Steph, she's been one of the most important reasons I am where I am. When I was building everything and barely sleeping, when I was stressed out and missing dinners, when I couldn't show up for my kids the way I wanted to, she never made it about her. She carried the emotional load. She protected our home. She believed in the man I was trying to become, even when I didn't fully see him yet. That's not just love. That's grace. And I'll never stop being thankful for that. So yeah, sometimes I take a breath and I think, damn, it really was all connected. And I let that ground me. Let that humble me. Let that remind me that there's something good out there pulling strings in your favor. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to keep choosing, because the force, call it God, call it energy, call it fate, it only moves when you move. It shows up after you act, not before. At least that's my take. But what the fuck do I know? Whatever the case, here's what I want you to leave with. If you're in a season of chaos, if you're unsure how today's decisions are going to add up, if you're sitting in the middle of a mess and wondering what the hell is even happening, keep going. Because one day, you'll look back and you'll realize this was the moment. This was the thread that wove the next big thing. You don't get to see the tapestry now. You're stitching it from the inside. But trust me, it's not random. It's not wasted. Everything is connected. That's not a reason to kick back and not do shit. It's actually a reason to dial in, get focused, and take action. I'll go out there and get it done.